So now I'm here today to talk to you about controlling instincts. These are things that drive our life, things that make us who we are without us even knowing that they existed. It's something like the bubble that comes out and bursts in a lake. What makes that bubble are very small bubbles that starts at the very bottom of the lake, either from a fish or from the ground or from a plant which is there. When it's going up, they really come together and they make a big bubble that bursts. And all you see at the top is the bursting of the bubble. You don't know how it started. When we talk, our thoughts, our action, our reaction, the way we talk to others happen exactly in the same way. So today I'm going to show you some of those small bubbles in your brain that forces you to be who you are. And then hopefully I can show you how you can use them to your advantage. The whole idea came with Toffler. In 1988, Toffler said that history has passed through phases, or he called them waves. The first one was agrarian, which is farming. Everybody used to be farmers. Then it moved into the industrial age, where suddenly the season became a day, and people started working as industrial individuals who have a structure. And then he predicted that somehow history will go into the information age. And he did that in '88 before the internet was even there. Now I'm using the word knowledge because I believe we surpassed the information age into the knowledge age. However, each one of us, whether we are farmers or industrials or working in the field or working on computers, we have traces of what these three waves have built into us. For example, the agrarian are driven by the season. They're driven by families and people going en masse to the field to pick up their crops. The industrial, they are driven by the day. They have an 8-hour structured day where they have to go to work and then come do some fun during the day, then sleep. So their time changed from season to structured day. The knowledge people now, they're living in a totally different way. Their mentality, the games they play when they're little bit kids, it creates some instincts. For example, time to them is multi-zoned. They can really understand how time at the moment now is day somewhere, night somewhere else. So let me give you some examples. I'll start with time. We all know time. We all believe in time. We always fight with each other about the time and the concept. However, each one of us interpret it differently. The agrarian interpret time based on season. It's flexible, you know. The industrial, they do it based on a day. It's structured. It's 8 hours. The knowledge, they do it based on the nanosecond. They literally can sense the nanosecond. For example, if you want to know if a person is what type, you tell him, I want to see you tomorrow. If his reply was, I'll see you in the afternoon, he's agrarian. Afternoon is 3-4 hours. To an industrial, this drives them crazy. You know, what do you mean in the afternoon? I want to know exactly when you want me. Then the industrial, they will tell you 10-ish, 8-ish, 9-ish. So they use that. You notice now their time is more firm. The knowledge person will have time as worked. You will not understand that, so let me give you examples of each. My brother, I used to visit him once a week every year, so I wanted really to spend quality time with him. He is more agrarian, so I'll tell him I want to see you at 1, he'll come at 3, that's normal to him. So I made sure that he sticks with me. I told him I want you to follow my time, 1 is 1. One day I told him I need you desperately to help me with something, can I see you tomorrow at 1? He said yes, he said 1 my time, definitely I'll be there. We were driving in the car. He saw a friend. He told him, I need to see you. Can I see you tomorrow at 1? You know, my brother said, yeah, of course, I'll be available. So I became mad, you know. I told him, how dare you do that to me? I need you at 1. He said, don't worry, he'll show up at 3. So they understand each other, you know. While with the knowledge age, I'll give you an example of my son. Again, I needed him to help me with one of my projects. He was visiting us from Edmonton. He was going back on Sunday at 1 o'clock. So I asked him, can I see you? He said, yeah, Dad, how about 3 o'clock on Sunday? I told him, but you'll be halfway to Edmonton. How can you do that? He looked at me as if I know nothing. Come on, Dad, we can Skype. So to him, time is different. He can do 2, 3 things at the same time. And I guarantee you, when he was going on the bus, he was really talking to his friends, chatting, Skyping with me, and doing his homework. So these individuals, they live in that way. Unfortunately, we do not understand each other. And that causes confusion. When you tell somebody, come to my meeting, you're coming late 15 minutes, and people were waiting, he looks at you, 15 minutes only, and you're making a fuss out of it. So you understand where they're coming from. The social unit, agrarian, they believe in large families. If you want to know an agrarian, ask him, what is the name of your second cousin from your third grandmother who's married to your wife's uncle? He will know. If you ask an industrial, when did you meet your uncle? He said, oh, I see him always in Christmas. Was it this Christmas or the previous Christmas? So the industrial only, they relate to their direct family, children, parents. If they're lucky, they might consider their uncles and they might know about them. The knowledgean people, they are creating a new way of friendship. You know, in case of my son, he has maybe 6 very close friends that he is physically close to them. He might have another 10 acquaintances that he sees. However, he has thousands of friends online. When I have a problem with computers, usually I ask him, can you help me? Yeah, of course, Dad. Give me half an hour. He'll come back with a solution, which is elegant. So I ask him, how did you do that? Oh, he's my friend. He gave me the answer. Who's your friend? Geek123X. Who is he? You know, I don't know. Is he a boy or a girl? I don't know. Where does he live? I don't know, you know. But they are close, you know. So there is that kind of family type, if you want to call it, that the knowledgean are starting to live through. Security. Agrarian, they believe in land. Even if they are very poor and they have a huge amount of land, they are not willing to sell it because really they feel secure with the land. Industrial, they believe in money. And you've heard that. If somebody say to his uncle or cousin, sorry, I had to take the money from you, get lost, because business is business. So to them, money is the center of their work. Time is money. Those who believe that time is money are the industrial age. The knowledgean, they believe in knowledge. They believe in getting information when it is needed. It is far important to them than money or possession. However, they're extremely lucky because they make money and they don't know how they're making the money. And the owner of Facebook and Google is a very good example. They are driven by love and hate. The agrarian, if they love you, they will die for you. If they hate you, if you have the best idea, they will always oppose you. The industrial, they believe in power-hate. Power-fear, which means if I have power over you, I can make you afraid. If you make me afraid, you have power over me. You cannot do that with an agrarian. And this is a big problem happens in an organization where an industrial person will tell an agrarian, come on time, otherwise I'm going to take money from your salary. Usually the agrarian, because they don't believe in money, they say, to hell with that. If that's the punishment, I don't care. So that one will start telling him, I'm going to give you a warning letter. The agrarian will reply, hey, you cannot make me afraid. You know, I hate you. I cannot work with you. So this is how the discussion happened between them. The focus, the agrarian always focus on the past. They focus on their ancestors, their history, what they have done before. If they are working in an organization, they will always bring history and how things were happening before. The industrial, they look at the future. They have plans. They have strategy. They save money for their later days. Retirement is the basic focus of their whole phase of life. While the knowledgean, they live on the now. They know tomorrow will be totally different than what they have envisaged. Where did they develop this? From all the multiple games they used to play. The games, the online games, they've been exposed since they were a little kid. They cannot really figure out what is the future. The other thing for them is they have lived in the undo environment. You know, we were brought up that we have only one chance. If we lose the chance, it's gone. To them, with the undo, I just undo, do it again, undo, do it again. So to them, the chances are, that's why they develop themselves to focus on the now. They dream for the future. They know where they want to go. They don't care how they can get there. They learn from their past. So whenever they make a mistake, they reflect on that, but they always focus on the now. So now, the implication, there are far more because as Matt said, this is TED, I'm limiting it only to these 5. So how do these things work? Now let's look at the managers of organization. If the manager is an agrarian and he's holding a meeting, he will hold it on agrarian basis. It will be more like a social event. So they will have the agenda. They don't stick to the agenda. They always go tangentially. Always there is a lot of new topics. And always there is that magical phrase, AOB, any other business. Because really, you can come. It's like a dinner in a family. You just chat, you know. An industrial manager will be extremely structured. They will have the agenda. They will follow the agenda. If you have any other business, the usual reply is, do your homework. Why you didn't do it before? Why you didn't put it on the agenda a week ago? So that's their mentality. The knowledgean, they don't meet. You know, they say, why? We have Skype. We can email each other. We can talk through the, if I want something from you, I can do it in real time. Money. The agrarian manager translates the concept of land, which is possession, which is something you hold, to saving. So whenever you offer a project to a manager, the first idea that comes to his mind, how can we save money? How can we reduce the cost? The industrial, they will focus on return on investment. Okay, how much more money I can make? The knowledgean will tell you, money? Why you're talking about it? And you tell him, you need to get money to do stuff. Say, no, you've seen Malik. You know how he really did his work with nothing practically, and things really come to them as a money. Strategy. Agrarian believe that strategy and planning is useless, is a waste of time. However, they go to and take their MBA from a big university, and they come and work in organization, and the first thing they need to know they have to do is strategic planning. They do the strategic planning. They don't stick to it. They don't know why they have to. Oh, my boss said I have to do a strategic planning. Who can help me with that? You know, while the industrial person believe in as a core value. They cannot work without planning for the future. The knowledgean, they feel it's a waste of time. Because you're planning for something that's going to change later on. Why you're making me waste my time now to work on it? Now, the collective group of people who are forming a society or a company or an organization always influence the personality of the organization. I believe that organizations have personalities based on the critical mass of its employee. If the critical mass are agrarian, the organization in its entirety will follow an agrarian model. If it is industrial, it is the same thing. So let me give you an idea about how you can identify the organization. First, technology. In the agrarian type of mentality or personality, paper is still rules. They will have the latest technology. They have emails. They have servers. They spend money on technology. But still, at the end of the day, you go to their storage, you find huge cabinets of paper and paper. And if they're really advanced, they will convert them to microfilms. The industrial organization, they believe in structure. They want everything to be in place. That's why they use the database. So they spend a lot of money on having servers with a high security so that they can keep their information within their organization. While the knowledge organization, they believe in the internet. Everything is unorganized. It's like Google. Throw it anywhere you want. When you want it later on, Google it. You'll find it, wherever it is. Change. In the agrarian age, change never happens because their word is, always we've done this. For 40 years, we have done this in our lives. So they're looking at the past. The industrial, they do change, but very slowly because it has to go through committees. There must be policies. There must be... While with the knowledge, it is immediate. When change is required, they do the change. You know, if you really do the analysis in the economy, the only companies that survived the recession were the agile organizations that were ready to do the change when it's needed. Mistakes. Agrarian, they repeat the mistakes. Not only that, in many cases, they celebrate the mistakes. And they sit down to analyze it, and they find so many reasons why it was correct, because that's how we've been doing it all our life. We don't have to change it. Industrial, they do the mistake once, but they don't do it again. The knowledgean, they never do the mistake in the first place. So now, how do you really understand yourself? Most probably, you try to figure out yourself, your boss, and your organization. If you are working within that same line, If you are working in an agrarian environment, you're agrarian and your boss is agrarian, you're happy, you're not stressed at work, you're enjoying your time at work. But if there is some misalignment between you, boss, and your organization, you're under stress. You hate Mondays. So if you keep saying, oh, it's Monday, or thank God it's Friday, really you have misalignment. As a lower rank, if you are in the lower rank, my advice to you is align yourself to your boss, whoever it is. You know, and the married men, don't forget it's your wives. Now, for the top executive, again, they need to have an alignment. If they have aligned everything within their organization, they have a very successful organization. However, if there is misalignment somewhere, they need the first thing to do is to align themselves to themselves. It means they think they are something, they want to be something different while they are totally a different category. I'll give you an example. An agrarian top executive might go to a conference and say, here's that project management is the best thing after sliced bread. So he comes to his organization, he say, project management. We want to be project management. So he pushes everybody towards that. However, he will always refuse to do planning. So the project management will not work. So really top managers, if they have problems in their organization, they need to align themselves to themselves. Middle managers, you are screwed. But not in the bad colloquial meaning only. You are the screw who's holding two different pieces together. You are very important. So you really need to develop yourself so that your head can fit exactly the screw that's going to screw you, and you are being screwed into something that you're comfortable with. No, but I'm talking about screws, okay? Now, the worst scenario is that if you're really bending, it means your boss is expecting something, your team have something else that they want to do, and you are in the middle. The best approach for you is to learn leadership from the middle. This is very important. You are leaders without even you knowing, but you are in the middle, and you need to figure out how to do that. So some tips, you as managers, or if you want to do some work, in the training, don't train to change attitude, habits, or knowledge. You know, sometimes they're important. What you need to work on hard is to change their values. So you need to understand how they understand things and change that. For example, if you have an employee who never comes on time, and you tell him, I want to see you first thing in the morning. You know, you're giving him morning, which is 3-4 hours. Why? Because the way he imagines it is, where is the sun? Morning is that location. The industrial, they understand the watch. So if you really show him the time on a watch, you're changing his value of time from the sun thing to a watch thing. So that will really help aligning the organization. There's a major misalignment in education because education is built on industrial values. However, teachers are agrarian, and teachers trying to teach the industrial concept is very difficult. And finally, for Fort McMurray. Fort McMurray is a really very unique place in the world. Most of the people here are agrarian in their instincts, although they're working in the industry. While the whole town is a boom town. And the word boom means money. So it is designed to be money-based. Only recently, the premier and the municipality have decided to change the word from boomtown to hometown. And in my opinion, this is the best alignment I've seen thought of in this town. You know? However, I really highly recommend that they should jump into the City 2.0 concept. You know? And I truly believe Fort McMurray can be the first city of 2.0. And you know, this is a TED initiative that's just started this year. Thank you very much.